Today we're going to talk about acceleration, specifically average acceleration and instantaneous acceleration. So let's talk about acceleration. Acceleration is the rate at which velocity is changing. So if the change in velocity is positive, that means that the velocity is increasing. Anytime the velocity is increasing, the acceleration will be positive. When the change in velocity is zero, the velocity is constant. The acceleration will be zero. Now, when the change in velocity is negative, that means that the velocity is decreasing, which means acceleration is negative. Now, what about when an object changes direction? Is there an acceleration? Let's say if an object is changing direction at constant speed, what would you say? Keep in mind, if the speed of an object changes, there's an acceleration. If an object is speeding up or slowing down, it has a non-zero acceleration. But if the object is changing direction at constant speed, there is an acceleration. It's known as a centripetal acceleration, and it points towards the center of the circle. Keep in mind, velocity is speed with direction. So even if an object is moving at constant speed, if the direction changes, its velocity is changing. And whenever there's a change in velocity, there's a change in acceleration. Now let's talk about average acceleration. The formula for average acceleration, it's equal to the change in velocity divided by the change in time. More specifically, it's equal to the final velocity minus the initial velocity divided by delta t. So that's the average acceleration. Now let's talk about the instantaneous acceleration, which tells you the acceleration at any instant in time. The instantaneous acceleration can be found using limits. It's the limit as delta t approaches zero in this formula, change in v over change in t. So acceleration is the rate at which velocity changes. It's the change in velocity over the change in time. The only difference between instantaneous acceleration and average acceleration is that for instantaneous acceleration, the delta t becomes so small that it approaches zero. Sometimes you can use this formula, the average acceleration, to approximate the instantaneous acceleration. Now, this formula is related to this equation. Perhaps you've seen this as one of the kinematics formula. V final is equal to V initial plus AT. There's another formula that I recommend you write down. V final squared is equal to V initial squared plus 2AD. If you solve for acceleration in that equation, you can also get this formula. The average acceleration is the change in the square of the velocities, final minus initial, divided by 2 times the displacement. So here are two useful formulas that will help you to calculate the average acceleration when solving word problems. Now, the acceleration is the slope in the velocity time graph. So let's say we have velocity on the y-axis and time on the x-axis. And let's say we have a curve that looks like this. Now, if you want to calculate the average acceleration using a velocity time graph, you need 2 points. If you want to calculate the instantaneous acceleration using the VT graph, you need 1 point. So let's say we have these 2 points, A and B. We want to calculate the average acceleration between those 2 points. What we need to do is connect those 2 points with a line and determine the slope of the secant line. The slope of the secant line will give us the average acceleration. Now, in contrast, the slope of the tangent line will give us the instantaneous acceleration. So remember, a secant line is a line that touches the curve at 2 points. A tangent line is a line that touches the curve at only 1 point. So the slope of the secant line gives you the average acceleration, and the slope of the tangent line, which is basically the derivative, that gives you the instantaneous acceleration. So this means that the instantaneous acceleration is also equal to the derivative of the velocity function. Now let's work on some practice problems. A car accelerates from 10 meters per second to 30 meters per second in 4 seconds. What is the average acceleration of the car? So let's write down what we know. We have the initial velocity, or more specifically the initial speed, since we don't know the direction. And we got the final speed, which is 30 meters per second. And the change in time, or the time difference between v initial and v final, that's 4 seconds. So we could use this formula to calculate the average velocity. It's the change in velocity, v final minus v initial, over delta t. V final is 30, v initial is 10, and we're going to divide it by 4. So 30 minus 10, that's 20. So the change in velocity is 20 meters per second. The change in time is 4 seconds. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So we get 5 meters per second squared. Now think about what this means. On average, this is telling us that the velocity is changing by 5 meters per second every second. So if we were to create a table between time and velocity, at t equals 0, the velocity is 10. 1 second later, it's going to increase by 5, so it's going to be 15. 2 seconds later, it's going to increase by another 5, which is 20. 3 seconds later, 25. And in 4 seconds, it's going to reach the final velocity of 30. So that's what the average acceleration tells us. It tells us how much the velocity is changing every second. So as we can see, the velocity changes by 5 every second. So the acceleration is 5 meters per second per second. Let's try this problem. A bus accelerates from 15 meters per second to 45 meters per second in a distance of 400 meters. What is the average acceleration of the bus? So let's write down what we know. We have the initial velocity and the final velocity. Let's assume that the bus is accelerating in an eastward direction. The distance is 400 meters. So if it's moving in one direction, the displacement will also be 400 meters if the bus doesn't change direction. So we're assuming it's moving only in one direction. So now to calculate the average acceleration, we're going to use this formula. It's v final squared minus v initial squared divided by 2 times the displacement. V final is 45 meters per second. V initial is 15. And the displacement is 400. 45 squared, or 45 times 45, that's 2,025. 15 squared is 225, and 2 times 400 is 800. 2,025 minus 225, that's 1,800. If we want to, we can cancel 2 zeros, so it's 18 over 8, which is 9 over 4. And 9 divided by 4 is 2.25. So that is the average acceleration in this example. It's 2.25 meters per second squared. Now let's try this problem. The instantaneous velocity of a particle is described by the function v of t is equal to t cubed minus 4t squared plus 5, where v, the velocity, is in feet per second and t is in seconds. So what is the average acceleration of the particle between t equals 2 and t equals 4 seconds? Keep in mind, average velocity is basically the change in velocity divided by the change in time. The change in velocity is v final minus v initial. The change in time is also t final minus t initial. So v final, that's going to be the velocity at 4 seconds. V initial will be the velocity at 2 seconds. T final is 4 seconds and t initial is 2 seconds. So let's calculate v of 4 by plugging 4 into the instantaneous velocity function. So v of 4 is going to be, let's replace t with 4. It's 4 to the third minus 4 times 4 squared plus 5. So that's a v of 4. V of 2 is going to be 2 to the third minus 4 times 2 squared plus 5. And this is all divided by 4 minus 2, which is 2 seconds. 4 to the third, that's 4 times 4 times 4, that's 64. 4 squared is 16 times 4 is also 64, plus 5. 2 to the third is 8, but we need to distribute the negative sign, so that's going to be negative 8. 2 squared is 4 times 4 is 16. We have two negative signs, so that's going to be positive 16. And then negative 5. So we could cancel 64 and negative 64, as well as 5 and negative 5. So we're left with negative 8 plus 16, which is 8, divided by 2. So that gives us an average acceleration of 4. Now the velocity is in feet per second, t is in seconds, so the acceleration is going to be 4 feet per second squared. So that's the answer for part A. Alright, so now let's move on to part B. What is the instantaneous acceleration of the particle at t equals 3 seconds? Now we're going to do this different ways. First, we're going to estimate the instantaneous acceleration using the average acceleration formula. Remember, the instantaneous acceleration is the limit as delta t approaches 0 of this formula. So we need to decrease delta t such that it's close to 3 seconds, but the change in time will be 0 or close to 0 around 3 seconds. And that will give us a good estimation of the instantaneous acceleration. So first, let's try to calculate it using the interval 2.9 and 3.1. It's centered at 3, but both numbers are close to 3. And we'll try 2.99 and 3.01, which is even closer to 3. So we're going to find v of 3.1 minus v of 2.9 over 3.1 minus 2.9. Change in velocity divided by the change in time. So let's plug in 3.1 into that formula. 3.1 cubed minus 4 times 3.1 squared plus 5. That will give you negative 3.649. Now let's plug in 2.9 into that formula. 2.9 to the third power minus 4 times 2.9 squared plus 5. That's negative 4.251 divided by 0.2. So negative 3.649, and this is going to be plus because we have two negative signs. So plus 4.251 divided by 0.2. It gives us an instantaneous acceleration of 3.01 meters per second squared. Now let's see what's going to happen if we get even closer to 3. So let's plug in these numbers. So if we plug in 3.01, we are going to get negative 3.969499. And let's plug in 2.99 into the formula. So I got negative 4.029501. Now 3.01 minus 2.99, that's going to be 0.02. Now if we combine the two numbers on the numerator, we can make this positive. We're going to get 0.060002. So we can see what the answer is going to be. So the acceleration is 3.0001, which is basically 3 meters per second squared. So as delta t gets very close to 0, the acceleration, the average acceleration becomes or gets closer to the instantaneous acceleration. So that's how you can use the average acceleration formula to estimate the instantaneous acceleration. Now, to get the exact answer, we need to use calculus. The acceleration is the derivative of the velocity function. So we're going to differentiate v of t with respect to time. We need to use the power rule in order to do this. The derivative of t to the third, you need to move the exponent to the front. It's going to be 3t, and then subtract this by 1, so it'll be 3t squared. The derivative of t squared is going to be 2t to the first power. And the derivative of a constant is 0. So think of this as 5 times t to the 0. If you were to use the power rule, you would still get 0. 0 times anything is 0. So now we get the acceleration function, which is 3t squared minus 8t. So to calculate the instantaneous acceleration at t equals 3, we just got to plug it in. So it's 3 times 3 squared minus 8 times 3. 3 squared is 9 times 3 is 27. 8 times 3 is 24. So this will give us 3, and it should be feet per second squared. Same is true with these units. For some reason I put meters per second squared, but it should be feet per second squared. So that's it for this video. Now you know how to calculate both the average acceleration and the instantaneous acceleration.